are here this afternoon to express our grievances over the incident killing in Kogi State. The present leadership of Kogi State, led by Governor Yahaya Bello, have turned Kogi State into a lion den.
This protest is to register our grievance against the continuous intimidation, threat, subjugation, and attempt annihilation of the Kogi East people, most especially Igala-Bassa extraction. Killings have been going on in Kogi State. For God's sake, this is a democracy, and we cannot continue to watch a large segment of the people being subjugated to political intimidation.
Welcome to Nation's Voice Tower. This is another episode of What is Trending. My name is Angelo, your usual anchor. Yes, there is chaos in Kogi State. Lots of people are crying, especially people from the Bassa and Igala extraction. They've been crying, wailing for lots of wanton killings in the country and what have you. This is not supposed to be so. I wonder what is happening in Kogi State right now, because lots of worries have come from women, fathers, children, and so on and so forth. And the government is keeping its hands folded and watching people die in their numbers. I feel so sad, and I am so perplexed, quite confused about these occurrences, because these occurrences are not only politically driven, but I think there is a personal vendetta somewhere. The people of Kogi State, especially those of Igala and Bassa extraction, have taken to the streets to peacefully protest against the killings of their people. Consequent upon the issues that have besieged Kogi State, the people registered their grievances to the Governor Yahaya Bello on the continuous intimidation, threats, and annihilation of Kogi East people, most especially those of Igala and Bassa extraction. Watch the peaceful protest and the way they voiced out their grievances bitterly to newsmen while they were accosted in Abuja during the course of their protest. More details when we come back.
Consequent upon the issues that have besieged Kogi State, and this protest is to register our grievance against the continuous intimidation, threat, subjugation, and attempt annihilation of the Kogi East people, most especially Igala-Bassa extraction. And this has been visible in recent times, that the political atmosphere has been tensed. People cannot come out to even own up to the parties they belong to. People are afraid of coming out to make issues. People are afraid of coming out for their participation as a right in a democracy, because the state have taken the step of ensuring that candidates are foist on people. Well, while this is so, it is important to note that killings have been going on in Kogi State, most especially during elections. In 2019, we recorded death of a woman burnt alive in her room, Mrs. Salome Acheju in Ofu local government. Then Daniel Usman in Ayangba. Then a host of other people, Fatima Ejule in recent times, and a few others. We want the security agencies to wade in as a part of their responsibility to protect lives and property in Kogi State, and to give the people a sense of belonging. For God's sake, this is a democracy, and we cannot continue to watch a large segment of the people being subjugated to political intimidation on a continuous basis. And also, it is important to know that there is also psychological intimidation going on in Kogi State by the virtue of workers not taking their money as at when due, and not taking their salaries as appropriate. That is psychological intimidation of the mass. They pay little amount of money to workers, which is very, very unfair to Kogi workers. So in this line, we have come to protest. And also, why our defense ended in Ministry of Defense is that there is an attempt, not an attempt, there's some complete complacent and compromise of the military in Kogi State. The Navy, the Army personnel are being used, and the DSS are being used to perpetrate so many crises in Kogi State. So in that vein, we are calling on the hierarchies of the military to do due diligence on ensuring that investigations are carried out and proper step is taken so that Kogi people can have a fresh of breath air. And finally, I want to say that Governor Yahaya Bello should search within his conscience and know that the Igala people and the Egbira people are not different people. We all migrated, however we did, from Kwararafa and found ourselves in the current day Kogi state. So the divisionist tendency that have been introduced in politics and the attempt, what's it called, fight to ensure that a particular tribe is placed above the other in this polity is not acceptable to all.
We are here this afternoon to express our grievances over the incident killing in Kogi State. The present leadership of Kogi State, led by Governor Yahaya Bello, have turned Kogi State into a lion den. He has referred himself to a lion and Kogi State as his den and the subject as an antelope. We all know that what that analogy means. He has referred to us as an antelope, and whoever dare to cross his way, he will devour him. So several killings has been going on in Kogi State. In recent time, killings and burning of properties has been going on in Ejule, and our people are dying. And the attempt, the essence of this is trying to intimidate our people. The vast majority of Kogi is the Igala Basa people, so that at the end of the day, he will bring his brother as governor of Kogi State. He has turned our democracy into an anarchy. He has turned himself into Pharaoh, whereby nobody can live in peace today. And the essence of us gathering in Abuja to protest today is to express our grievances to the federal government, to the United Nations, to the whole world, that democracy in Kogi State has been turned into an authoritarian government. And we are calling them to caution Kogi State, before the governor of Kogi State, before he turned the state into the state of anarchy.
Welcome back. I will say precisely that well, this is so sad because we can't be in a country where there is supposed to be peace and tranquility, but somewhere else, in a place that elections are yet to be conducted, there is a high rate of wanton killings in these places over few political issues that can be resolved with a wave of a hand. And most dentingly, you will say that these killings are targeted at a particular tribe, the majority tribe in Kogi State, the Igala and Basa people. This is very, very sad to note because the new incoming government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot fold their arms and watch this happen to a particular state of which he is president over. Alright, so I would urge the government, the federal government to be precise, because Yahaya Bello cannot do anything about it. Because from what they are saying there, allegedly, Yahaya Bello, the governor of Kogi State, has a hand in all of these things that are happening with a personal vendetta on ground. So we'll call on the FG, the federal government, to please put hands on deck. All security operatives should come on board and see what would happen in Kogi State, because we cannot have another thing happening in Kogi State. We are not done with the one in Kaduna State. We are neither done with the one in Plateau State. Neither are we done with the one happening in Benue State. Then somewhere around the southeast, lots of killings are taking place. And then in Kogi State, something is erupting. This is so, so sad. Please, we call on the FG and the security operatives under the federal government to please make hay while the sun is shining. That is that on that particular update. Secondly, on the review of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's policies, Professor Chris Nwokobi, a representative of the United Action Front of Civil Society, has called out the President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for allegedly copycatting the plans and manifesto of the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Gregory Obi, and he has not only faulted the 1 month already spent by the new regime of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for not only hurriedly carrying out activities and policies, but for mismanagement of resources and borrowing the template of the former government of President Muhammadu Buhari. Let me give you that interview where Professor Chris Nwokobi spoke bitterly on what he thinks is a failure already just 1 month into office of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. More details when we come back. Stay tuned.
Let me say clearly that All that we have seen in the lifespan, 1 month of this administration, is copycatting the policy programmatic of Peter Gregory Obi. So clearly, Peter Gregory Obi would have done better. Clearly, he understands the Nigerian politics. Clearly, he understands the economy. Clearly understands business and is a trader. And I hope that the courts of law will do what is proper, right and right by ensuring that the man who truly won the 2015. Why are Nigerians smart by half? The truth is that every administration in our historicity, particularly since 1999, have done these same things that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done. You change the CNCs, you appoint a new police IG, you take out the EFCC chairman, you do a few things. And it's what we're used to. So those who politic with it, those who attempt to delude with it, those who attempt to do politics with it are smart by half. I think that fundamentally what we have is that the pillars and the graphs of poverty and hunger, disease and despondency has deepened. As you and I talk, there are many more Nigerians who are going down the poverty mark. As you and I talk, the statistics and the figures reeled by the guests who were here before me are harrowing. As you and I talk, over 100 million Nigerians down the poverty mark. Let me say this with all sense of respect, that for 8 years, the Buhari administration told us about conditional cash transfers. Nobody has called anybody to book for not ensuring that that policy was effective, efficient, and effectual. For 8 years, we were told about, and you saw optics and pictures of people being given money in marketplaces and in public places, and you ask yourself, how effective has this been? I want to say with every sense of respect and decorum and decency, and perhaps commitment to the cause for a new Nigeria, that those who preach that programmatic being unfair to the Nigerian people, with inflation on a double digit, how would 5,000, 10,000 affect our country? Would our roads decrepit, our facilities comatose, and things checkered? How will it affect our economy? How will it get the really poor out of poverty? And who has done the statistics? Who has found out those who are truly, truly poor and where they are? And then do you know, and let me surprise you, that if you were to look through the bank statistics, those who have bank accounts in our country are by far fewer. There are less than 30% of Nigerians who have. So many of us who have bank accounts have 4, 5, 6, and some 10 accounts. And so you ask yourself, the really poor, do they have bank accounts? Thank God for a few other money agencies that have emerged, like OPay, MoneyPoint, and several other. You ask yourself, beyond them, do the really, really poor have bank accounts? And who assesses them? Who reaches out to them? You know, the tragedy of our country is that there's so much of falsehood, so much of deceit, so much of corruption that the political operators, pardon my choice of words, political, you know, they come with all kinds of tricks and they tell you, oh, this is what will work, this is how it will work. Where very importantly, that regarding the pace of Mr. President, I totally disagree with those who are saying that he's moving so fast, because we've seen since 1999 several administrations, and some moved faster than this. At some point, but for it took about 6 months or 5 months for Buhari to appoint ministers in 2015. He was moving at quite a supersonic pace that Nigerians said, oh, the body language of the president could do so much. You know, he has changed service chiefs. He has taken away subsidy because there was no, not my words, because there was no provision for subsidy beyond June. So he had no option but to do that. But the question I always ask economists and those who have gone into this gamut of deceit is, where really was the subsidy?
Right, you got that verbatim from Chris Nwokobia there, Prof. So I wouldn't explain much because whatever he said there was self-explanatory. I think the studio was on fire with the Prof there, because this should be the third time he's coming to the studios to speak bitterly in the past 2 to 3 months to be precise. So the president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, should do the needful and swing into action, because it's not all about making policies here and there, changing of service chiefs here and there, sacking of bosses of different parastatals and agencies, but it is to make the welfare of the people worth living for. Okay, you are there because of Nigerians. You are not there just to sit and make armchair decisions, travel left and right and come back. Please, the presidency and those involved around him should take note, because there are sadistic occurrences all over Nigeria, let me say, and this is not supposed to be the case just in a month into government. So please, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Senator Kashim Shettima should take note of these occurrences, because we can't have another President Muhammadu Buhari's regime happen to us again in Nigeria. Lastly, before I go further, I would urge our viewers and our subscribers, both incoming and already existing, to please tap the subscribe button. Don't forget to also tap the notification bell so you will get an update. You will be the first to get an update anytime we drop a new content. And don't forget to also like, share, and watch till the end. Drop a comment for us also in the comment section if you feel different or if you have a suggestion over what we do here. Finally, a retired group captain of the Nigerian Air Force, Group Captain Sadiq Shehu, has reacted to the National Assembly's assessment of service chiefs and how he thinks the process should be carried out over time. He opined that if the lawmakers are not knowledgeable enough to drill or to grill the service chiefs for confirmation to their various portfolios, then they should have a quick look at their curriculum vitae and see the achievements so far that have been gotten, instead of asking pedestrian questions. Let me let you watch the retired group captain Sadiq Shehu while he spoke bitterly about the lackadaisical attitude of the National Assembly in confirming service chiefs. Watch this.
What has been happening in the past is that during confirmation, I think the lawmakers, either for lack of knowledge or for lack of research, what they ask are only pedestrian questions. And to be honest, it is in national interest for the lawmakers, like I said earlier, for them to also do their work. By now, even though I know they don't have committees yet, that's another problem. Had it been they have committees, by now, this committee should have been looking at the CV of those officers. They have been looking at their past performance. They would have done their own research on what is actually wrong with security. That is the lawmakers. And based on that, ask these service chiefs, what are you going to do now as service chiefs? What are you going to do different? I don't expect any service chief to come and say, for example, that everything is okay with my service. No, definitely every service has security, but has its own challenges. Now, if the National Assembly members have done this due diligence of background checks, of looking at what is wrong with security, they will be able to ask intelligent and reasonable questions that will improve security. They will be able to extract promises from this service chief for which they can put a timeline. Okay, you said you are going to do this, you are going to raise numbers of your service up to this, and what is your plan? And with that, during oversight business, they can work on that. But again, to do this, the lawmaker also has to be very knowledgeable. If he doesn't know about security, he has to find people who know about security to tailor questions for him. I am looking forward to a situation where we don't have, the lawmakers asking pedestrian questions. You should ask questions that will. Now, that is why in democracy they say check and balance. It is possible. Here, I'm just assuming it is possible. Mr. President made a wrong choice. A very diligent questioning by the National Assembly will, reveal whether these people that Mr. President selected, whether they are good choices or not. But whereby you don't have the quality of lawmakers to ask those questions, what we are going to have is just pedestrian. What is your name? Okay, you are from my village. Please clap for him. That is not going to serve national interest. So it is very important that the lawmakers going forward, they learn how to oversight security. They learn how to ask specific questions with due respect. If you are in the National Assembly member to do oversight, and you are oversighting army, and you don't know how many officers and men are supposed to be in a battalion, you don't know what is the quantity of equipment that's supposed to be in a battalion, then really, I cannot see how you can do a diligent oversight. I cannot see how you can contribute to national security. I'm very hard on the National Assembly members because they are the ones that come and say, sack service chiefs, vote of no confidence, talking as if they are powerless. I still maintain almost every power or responsibility that the president and commander in chief has over security and armed forces, she shares it with members of the National Assembly. A diligent National Assembly can even correct wrong actions taken by the executive in terms of security issues. So this is what we want to see, a rebellious National Assembly. Unfortunately, again, ours is a complicated system. I hear about that about 70% or 60% of the lawmakers are new. Even the older ones, they have not done well in this oversight. So in essence, what I am saying, confirmation is supposed to be a serious matter. Whether it is for security members or anything, it is a place where you really subject the choices made by the president to see whether they are really quality. And while you are doing that, the members of the general public, the Nigerians, they are watching. When they hear that these people are top-notch, it will give them confidence. It will give them confidence that the commander-in-chief has made a good choice. It will give them confidence also they have quality lawmakers that will ensure that these people perform.
I know that when
all right, all said and done, I will say precisely that Sadiq Shehu is right there. Please, the National Assembly did not take time in voting in their speakers and their presidents and their vice presidents and so on and so forth. The National Assembly did not take the whole year in bringing into office the chief whip, minority leaders, chairman of various committees in the house, and so on and so forth. So please don't take time in confirming service chiefs, because that is not supposed to be so. Well, the new ones have already been confirmed, but the National Assembly should do well. You are lots of people in that house, 108 or 9 senators in the Senate House, and over 100 lawmakers in the House of Assembly, on the National Assembly, in the House of Representatives. So please do the needful while you are receiving whooping salaries, whooping sums of money come into your account every week, every month as your salaries. Millions of naira, and you are here telling us that you want to take a month or a very, very long duration of time before you confirm service chiefs that have been already selected by the president. Please, the National Assembly should do the needful and stop taking armchair decisions and resting on their oars while they are supposed to be there making daily laws for the betterment of Nigeria and to the betterment of the welfare of the people of Nigeria. Thank you so much for keeping your own time with us, and I bet you what, we will not back down from bringing you the truth in this particular platform. Stay tuned and keep a date with me in my next content. See you next time. Bye.